Hey folks, Michael Kelsey here in the OCA office in Oklahoma City. This is the last week of October, October 26th. This is your weekly update to things and events and strategies going on with the Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association for this last week of October. You should have received your invitation for our fall gatherings. We've been talking about this for some time and already had some great response regarding this. We're so excited. We start those fall gatherings this week. On Monday, we'll be in Durant, down at Star Creek Angus, and then we'll be over Tuesday, Lord willing, we'll be up in Jay and over there at the Hollenbachs, and then on Thursday, we'll be at the Foster Ranch in Ochalata. So we're looking forward to starting our fall gatherings this year. We've got 12 of them across the state. It's not too late to get registered for the one that's closest to you. So go on our website or some of our social media pages. Click on the appropriate link, and you can get all signed up, just so we'll know how much supper that we need to be preparing for at those specific events. Great moisture across the state of Oklahoma. Obviously, we'll be watching closely regarding what type of precipitation. We know there's already some ice. Here it is Monday, and there's already some ice forming. That's certainly not good, and we certainly will be prayerful about that. But we're at the same time very thankful for the moisture as it moves across the state. We're very blessed in that standpoint. Hey, this Wednesday, we've got a great webinar lined up for you. Our Wednesday webinar at noon will be the topic will be, it's sponsored by our good friends at LNC, and we're just very blessed to have them along board for this. But here's the topic. So corn is cheap. Why is feed so expensive? So we'll be talking about that. I think it's going to be an excellent webinar. Make plans to tune in for that on Wednesday. It's going to be cold and yucky outside anyway, right? So make plans to come in at noon, get you a great bowl of beef chili or something like that to kind of warm you up, and tune into that webinar. We do ask that you pre-register for that again, so we'll know what the scope of that webinar is, so you can go and get registered for that on our website or some of our social media pages as well. Some of the other things that are coming up, we continue to meet with legislators as we prepare for the legislative session, as well as some of the candidates. Election Day is next Tuesday. We'll have early voting in Oklahoma that will begin Thursday, Friday, Saturday of this week. So great opportunities there to get to the polls to vote. And there's lots of different things that we need to be paying special attention to regarding that ballot. Two things that I do want to mention regarding the state questions that we have in the state of Oklahoma, here in the state of Oklahoma. So State Question 805, we've been talking about this one for some time. Our leadership at Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association took a position opposed to State Question 805. 805 is a constitutional amendment that will change the Constitution so that regarding the practice of sentencing nonviolent crime, the courts cannot take into account prior history. So, for instance, a person who's been convicted of several times of cattle theft. Cattle theft is a nonviolent crime, unfortunately, here in the state of Oklahoma. And so when they would be convicted of maybe their subsequent third, fourth, 10th time to steal cattle, the court would only be allowed to look at it as a first-time offense. So they wouldn't be able to take into account the past history. Now, let me ask you something. Those of us that are parents, when we're dealing with our children and disciplining our children, when we have a first offense, if you will, you deal with the discipline differently than you deal if a child keeps doing this. Sometimes the penalty gets more harsh. Maybe we take bigger and things away regarding grounding or prohibition of activities or so forth. But so that kind of makes perfect sense. Well, 805 would stop that. So that just doesn't make any sense, does it? So we are encouraging a no vote on State Question 805. The other question that's on the ballot is State Question 814. OCA does not have an official position on this. We encourage you to just take a look at it and be educated as you move in to the polls to be ready to vote. 814 deals with the TSET funds. It would allow the legislature to take more of the interest from the TSET funds into the general fund, the legislature has indicated because State Question 802 passed, dealing with Medicaid and Medicaid expansion in the state of Oklahoma, that's going to be a significant cost increase to the state. And they're wanting to take some of these TSET funds and apply that to help offset some of the expenses there. That's some of the reasoning for this. Again, OCA does not have a position on State Question 814, but that is kind of some of the general gist of that question. There's a lot of good information about State Question 814 out there that you can go and gather some of that information on many social media pages. I've seen several legislators who've done a good job of summarizing that question, and so you can go and find some information about that. But be aware of that as you move into the polls. Again, want to remind you of the webinar coming up on this Wednesday. That's going to be a really good one. The fall gatherings that we have going on, again, just can't say enough about how excited we are about those. Final thing I'll share with you is we had a great week last week. Our strategic planning task force met on Friday for their first in-person meeting. Had some excellent discussion as we move forward in planning our next strategic plan for the Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association. Really appreciate the leadership of those folks in coming along. We'll be giving updates as we move along in that process to OCA membership. By the way, our next board meeting is Friday, November 6th. That'll be the next OCA board meeting, so board members, you've already received communication on that, but also OCA members need to be aware of that. November 6th, the next board meeting, it'll be at Express Ranch. We appreciate our friends out there, Gerald and all his staff, Mark Squires and Kevin and Jason, just a whole crew out there. I know I'm missing somebody. They've got a great crew out there that they've extended, rolled out a red carpet for us, and we really appreciate them allowing us to use their sale facility for our fall board meeting here coming up. So make note of that, November 6th. Hey folks, stay safe out there. It's going to be kind of treacherous here, at least the first part of the week. Stay safe as you go about your activities. We know you're working hard, doing great work, taking care of cattle in these tough times. You know, it's interesting. You folks are some of the salt of the earth folks. You take care of your cattle before you take care of yourselves in many times. And I wish our friends in the animal rights industry would understand that and know that we just do a great job in stewarding those animals, and we appreciate what you do there. Be safe as you're out there, and we look forward to seeing you at a fall gathering as we move through this fall and getting a chance to visit with you and share some fellowship and just some good time together at one of those fall gatherings. If you have any questions or anything, we can do anything for you, or if you want to comment on this post or any others, give us a call or make a comment or a question. Be happy to reach back out to you and get some information to you if that's what you need. Until next week, stay safe, stay warm. We'll catch up with you next week.